Hello and welcome back to Ace Academy. Remembering that the team rankings were supposed to be posted this morning, I take out my phone and notice an unread email from the school. The rankings are posted online and can be accessed through the web link. I tap the link embedded in the email and wait. The page doesn't load. The damn thing still isn't working for me. There's a note at the bottom of the email saying a physical copy of the ranking is posted in the pilot's lounge, so I head there. We were just there, damn it. Oh well. Upon entering, I noticed a crowd of pilots on the opposite wall in front of the posted ranks. They're surrounding a smiling guy with white hair, showering him with praise. Pushing past the crowd, I eagerly check the board and search for my team. My stomach twists into knots. I really don't know what to expect. And once I find our team, I breathe a sigh of relief. Rank 21. It's not bad at all. The pilots beside me are still talking, and I tune into their conversation.
Congratulations on being ranked number 1 again this year, Akira.
Oh, you are so totally the villain.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, guys. But it's actually my team who deserves the congratulations. They all fought really well.
Good lord! He's almost certainly the villain, but he doesn't seem to be an arsehole. This is actually a positive development.
Still, you were a big reason why your team got first rank. I watched the match, and you were amazing out there.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Don't you already have a sponsor too?
Yeah,
Who is it?
it's Eludian Enterprises.
I've heard their weapons are pretty cutting edge.
Wow, you're so lucky.
I just love the fact they can get military-grade weaponry here. I mean, this school's a bit messed up. Before anyone else can reply, a group of girls cuts through the crowd to read their rankings. A tall girl with long, dark hair steps forward and squints at the board, and then cheers excitedly.
Hey! We made it to the top 10!
As she jumps up in excitement, my eyes are drawn to her chest. But I look away before I catch myself staring. Glancing around me, it seems like I wasn't the only guy she distracted.
Are you serious, May?
One of her teammates pushes past to double-check the post.
Of course I'm serious. We're in 9th place! That's not bad at all. Especially considering how long we've actually practiced together. That's true.
Akira joins May.
Congratulations on your rank, May.
Thank you, but I'm sure it means nothing compared to being number 1.
I've just noticed his eyes are red, and that's actually just a little bit creepy. She smiles him a warm smile and rubs her arms, squeezing her chest together in the process. Akira falters for a second, then shakes his head and speaks earnestly.
No, you girls are pretty impressive. You're a new team, right? Formed over the summer?
Mai nods.
It's not often that a team who hasn't had much chance to practice and learn from each other is able to make top rank. You have every right to be proud.
Thanks. That means a lot.
As I say, 21 out of how many, incidentally? I don't know, but let's face it, given that I went in there with no flaming weaponry...
I can't believe Akira just said we impressed him! I know!
Do you already have sponsors too?
Not yet, but we aren't worried. We've had a few companies reach out to us today.
It must be nice not to worry about sponsorship. I think my team and I will go through the SBA to get a sponsor.
SBA? Now what's that? I do a quick search on my phone. A website for a student-run association pops up on the school network. Ah, the Sponsorship Bridging Association. A student association that pairs sponsorship opportunities with different teams. Sounds simple enough. I click on the More Information tab. Why should your team get a sponsor? The SBA provides... I'm going to take that from the top. Why should your team get a sponsor? The SBA prides themselves on pairing appropriate sponsors with Ace Academy teams who have proven their ability in battle. These sponsors fund teams for their repair costs as well as provide them with equipment improvements. This is a mutual relationship that benefits both the team, through equipment costs and repairs, and the sponsor by giving them greater exposure and an opportunity to advertise through their teams. Scan through the rest of their website looking for the on-campus location. I should stop by, see if they can help us with a sponsor. Instead of the location, I find the student volunteer list and her name pops out at me. Yuna Misaki. I didn't know she was part of the SBA. Maybe she'll be willing to help us out. Her family's stupid rich, aren't they? I'm guessing, but that might explain how she was able to assist us on the first day. It's a bit loud since these groups of pilots are still talking, so I move to a quiet corner and dial Yuna's number. Love the fact my phone lit up exactly when we did that. It's nothing important, just a Facebook alert. Hi Yuna, it's Richard.
Oh, hi! How are you?
I'm fine, how are you? Good, how are you doing?
Quite well.
Great!
Do you need something?
Yes I did. I came across the SBA website today and I noticed your name on the volunteer list. Are you still part of that association?
I am.
Well, I was looking to get our team a sponsor, but I wasn't sure how.
Oh.
And then I heard a few students talking about the SBA today. Figured I'd check it out, and well, when I saw your name, I just had to ask.
I'd be happy to help you find a sponsor.
Really? You don't mind?
It's no trouble at all. I'll check in with the association in the morning, and I'll be sure to keep you in the loop.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Did you need anything else? I don't mean to rush you, but I've got to head out.
No, that's all.
Okay, then I'll talk to you when I have something.
Great, thanks again for your help.
Anytime. See you around.
Yeah, see you. The phone clicks as she hangs up. I suppose at least we're one step closer to getting a sponsor. I hope. I glance at the time. Still the early evening. What should I do? I love the way it phrases that. You know, it's what should I do? Shu or Yuna? I know what it's trying to do, but I feel like doing something active, but I don't just want to lift weights. I've heard the recreation center always has lots of activities going on. There's bound to be something there I can do. As I walk in, the first thing I notice is how much natural light shines into the room. The facility's huge, but doesn't feel overwhelming. There are signs leading to different gymnasiums, even to a pool, and there's a locker room nearby. I take advantage of the facility to change into my gym clothes. As I continue to explore, I spot tennis courts filled with students playing matches. A few students crowd the sidelines waiting for a court to be open. And Yuna's among them. She's standing alone, stretching out her arms. I head over and greet her. Hey Yuna.
Hi.
She seems surprised.
I didn't expect to see you here.
Didn't expect to be here, to be honest. She chuckles. So, you play tennis?
A little, just for fun. Do you play?
Never had much time for sports. You know, schoolwork tends to take priority. Yuna nods in understanding. That and the whole gear thing, but it's nice to do something different once in a while.
Of course.
So, have you been waiting long for a court to free up?
Not too long. Plus, I'm next on the wait list, so once a court opens up, I'll be able to play.
So, who are you playing against? She shrugs.
Anyone who's available.
How about you and I play a game then? She suddenly seems shy.
Sure, but I have to warn you, I'm a bit rusty. I haven't played much this season.
She's gonna mop the floor with us, isn't she? We'll be evenly matched then. It's okay, since I haven't really played.
This'll be fun.
Can't play with no equipment though. Is there somewhere I can borrow a racket?
I actually have an extra you can use.
Great, thanks. A court opens up and Yuna and I take places on opposite sides. Since you're feeling a little anxious, why don't you serve first?
Oh no, that's okay.
Please, I insist. She smiles her thanks and nods. As we settle into place, I give my racket a few experimental swings. And once ready, I nod. Yuna tosses the ball into the air and pulls back her arm. And with a resounding crack, her racket connects with the ball in a powerful serve. The ball whizzes towards me at lightning speed. Turn it. I barely manage to clip the ball. Lobs over the net but veers out of bounds. The heck was that?
I'm sorry.
I glance at Yuna's worried face and snap out of my daze. It's fine, I wasn't expecting that, but expecting your next one. She smiles and then prepares for her next serve.
15 love.
She bounces the ball a few times, preparing herself for the serve, and she throws it overhead. And her next serve is just as powerful. The ball zooms towards me. The ball flies erratically but makes it over the net. Yuna smoothly parries it back. The longer we play, the more I'm able to keep up a volley. Yuna's face is set in deep concentration, but she easily counters my hits every time the ball flies over the net. This is how she plays when she's out of practice. I'm sure as hell not ready to face her at her peak. Still, the game is over before I know it. I couldn't compare to her. She won 6-2.
That was a good game. You did really well.
You're being too kind. That was a pretty one-sided game. Not sure I believe that you're out of practice. You were amazing out there. Yuna's cheeks are flushed from both the match and from embarrassment.
Thank you, but I really don't deserve such praise.
You have nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, even at your worst, you're still way better than me.
That's not true.
Are you part of the school league? She shakes her head. No. You really should consider trying out.
You think so?
Definitely. She seems pleased, but shrugs.
Thanks, but I'm not sure I have time for that kind of commitment.
Hey, are you guys finished?
We turn and face a pair of students walking onto the court.
Oh, yes, we just finished.
Actually, we were wondering if you two would be interested in a doubles match.
Doubles match? Yuna and I glance at each other and both break into grins.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. You guys can serve first. Good luck.
I retrieve the ball and toss it to Yuna, and she catches it and prepares to serve. I don't think these two know what they're in for. When I get home, Uncle Kaito's lounging on the couch with his feet up on the coffee table, staring intently at his laptop. Mountains of papers and folders surround him, with a few loose pieces strewn here and there across the floor. Hey, Uncle. Is Nikki home? Clearly startled, Kaito spins to face me and loses the rest of his papers in a scattered mess. He rubs at his eyes before letting out a resigned sigh and kneels to pick them up. I bend down to help. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
It's not your fault. Sometimes this house can be too quiet.
Quiet? Guess that means Nikki isn't home. He gives me a weak smile. I can tell he's tired. Kaito's been working himself almost every night since Nikki and I arrived. Just hope he's not overworking himself. I hand back all the papers I collected and he begins sorting them into folders once again. Can I help? He hesitates and then shakes his head.
Thanks, bud, but I've got it.
I sit beside him anyway. What are you working on?
Just some work stuff.
Right. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't really know what Uncle Kaito does for a living. What kind of work stuff?
A lot of things.
Okay, I can take a hint. I fall silent, not wanting to disturb him any further. After a few seconds, Kaito glances at me.
You okay?
Yeah, just didn't want to bother you. I can tell you're busy.
Oh, no, you're not bothering me. I'm just a little distracted since I'm doing a final look at our contracts for the restaurant.
Although, that being said, contracts. Don't you have a department that handles those?
Yeah, we do, but as regional manager, I have to look at them first to make sure they include everything we discussed. Then I send it to the deal desk to make sure all the legalese is correct and that there are no hidden clauses.
Always fun. He pats the pile of papers closest to him.
We're opening up a new cafe in the next month, hence all the new contracts.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, it won't be too far away. You know that empty lot in the strip mall?
The one that's been under construction.
Yep, that's where it'll be.
That's pretty close. I'll have to stop by after it opens to check it out.
Have you been to any of our other restaurants yet?
I didn't even know you managed restaurants until now.
Really? When you were little, I used to take you there when you visited. Don't you remember?
Kind of, but... well, I didn't know those were your restaurants.
I used to bring you food straight from the kitchen.
I was 5. I thought everyone did that. He laughs.
Fair point. Well, if you get the chance, you should try the place near the park. It serves Western-style cuisine and is very popular in Isukaze. I know it won't be exactly like the food you had back in the States, but I'd be curious to see how you like it.
Sure, sounds great. He grins at me before turning back to his stack. I should probably let him work. I'm gonna go upstairs. Good luck with all of this.
Thanks.
I head to my room, do another quick search on the SBA, and then decide to check out what other clubs are at ACE. Looks like there's a club for everything. Tennis, cooking, business, culture, etc. At some point I vaguely hear noises downstairs. Do they have a HEMA club? This is what I'm always interested in. You can always tell the quality of the place by whether or not they have a HEMA society. That's historical European martial arts, if you're not aware. I.e. sword fighting. Yes, I have issues. Nikki must be home. After a quick convo, she comes upstairs and I hear her shut the door to her room. I continue surfing the net, but after a while, my eyelids start to droop, and I crawl into bed before drifting to sleep. My alarm snaps me out of my slumber, and with a groan I reach outside my blanket in search of the coveted snooze button. 5:45 AM? What pressed me to set my alarm at such an ungodly hour? Oh right, the physical education class I had this morning. God, any normal being would have picked a more reasonable time for this course. Which explains why this time slot was the only one available. I climb out of bed and begin my morning routine. After getting ready, I head downstairs to an empty living room. Kaido and Nikki must still be asleep. This just reminds me of while I was at university, I had a lecturer who I'm not... No, screw it, I'll tell you his name. His name was Vladimir Vladimirov. I wish I was making that up. And yes, he's as Russian as that name implies, but we had a lecture scheduled for 9:15 until 11:15, and his comment was, "Student not be able to concentrate at this early in morning. I will request timetable change." And we thought, okay, slightly later, that's not too bad. He ended up getting it after everything else, so we were in a 6:15 until 8:15 lecture with him. Yeah, because that was a good bloody idea. I'm normally trying to go to bed at like 8:30. Oy. After getting ready, I head downstairs to an empty living room. Kaido and Nikki must still be asleep, like any other normal person. I power feast through breakfast and head on my way. After an uneventful drive, I'm waiting outside the gymnasium. Some zombie-like students wait with me. The rest are passed out on campus benches.
Joseph!
A cheerful voice, too cheery for the current time of day, breaks through my reverie, and I see two familiar faces approaching. Shu is beaming. Can't say the same about Kaori. Her eyes are hardly open and she yawns, barely mustering a nod of acknowledgement. It's a beautiful day in the neighbourhood. Mr. Shinjiro, a pleasure as always. I raise an open palm and Xiao grins before giving me a resounding high five. Kaori covers her ears and glares. She's not the only one looking at us disapprovingly.
Oh, sorry, Kaori.
Hey, I'm a morning person. I'm not gonna, undo that.
I'm already getting a headache.
So what's up with you two picking this as your time slot for the course?
We could ask the same for you.
Transferred into the program late. Only one available. Kaori crosses her
I
arms.
guess that makes sense.
You guys?
We were originally in a later class, but decided to change out.
Any reason why? Shu looks at Kaori and she sighs before shrugging her shoulders.
Remember when we told you about us forming our own team because it didn't work out with the previous one?
Yeah.
Let's just say, we all decided to pick the same gym class to train together, but as you know, it didn't work out.
Sounds more like a falling out. Xiao rubs the back of his head.
Something like that. In any case, we figured it'd be easier to switch out than deal with that awkwardness every week.
Yeah, it's their business if they wanna. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. We hear a click as the building door unlocks.
Sorry for the wait, everyone. We had a little issue with the gym schedule, but that's now been resolved. Please make your way to the locker rooms, then meet at Gymnasium 3.
Awesome! We'll see you there, Cowrie. Come with me, Broseph.
Shu muscles me towards the men's locker room, and we quickly change into our uniforms, then Shu and I head towards the gym. Even with all the training equipment inside, the space still feels huge. Flags and banners from past victories hang on the walls and the ceilings. Typical of Ace Academy, everything looks pristine.
Hello?
Shu's voice snaps me back to reality. Yeah, what's up?
Jeez! Zoning out like that when I'm asking you such an important question? It's almost like you don't care.
Sorry, what did you ask?
What's your favorite flavor of Dango?
I think he and I have different versions of what an important question is. I suppose it's something in my peripheral vision distracts me from answering. Whoa! A group of girls enter the gym wearing nothing but their panties and a t-shirt. This can't be right. I rub my eyes, but the magical sight remains in focus. What's going on?
Huh?
Girls over there are just walking around in their... Shu glances excitedly, but deflates a second later.
What are you talking about, Broseph?
How are you not seeing this?
See what? Girls wearing their gym uniforms?
It's incredibly revealing. Shu stares for a moment.
I still don't get it. That's what they've always worn, ever since elementary school. Actually, now that you mention it...
I watch as Shu's face reddens.
My God! What have you done? I won't be able to focus in this class anymore.
Sorry. Come on, I can't be the only one who's seen this.
You were. I was desensitized to this from childhood because my memories never associated this attire with perversion, and thus there was nothing to be perverted about.
I still maintain these games overuse the word perverted. What the heck are you talking about?
I don't know, man. I'm too distracted to think clearly.
Cuff him round the back of the head.
What are you two yelling about?
Now, how inappropriate is this image going to be? I've seen worse. We both spin round and see Cowrie. She's also wearing what no one in their right mind would dub a gym uniform. Her porcelain legs are completely free of blemish. The way the material shows of her body makes it clear she works hard to stay fit. Her exercise routine is yielding superb results. If I ever had any doubt about Cowrie's physical prowess, I don't have them anymore. Must take hard work and discipline to have a body like yours. She frowns as a hand instinctively goes to her side. The only thing betraying her unimpressed expression is a slight pink creep in her cheeks.
Are you really trying to hit on me with a line like that?
No. Just giving credit where it's due. You can take it however you want. It's just impressive to see someone diligent with their training. Cowrie crosses her arms as the pink on her cheek deepens.
Thanks, I guess.
Honestly, I've seen more revealing bikinis, so, you know, doesn't bother me. A few moments go by as we wait for class to start. By the way, have you guys thought about what we should do for sponsorship?
Not quite.
No.
Shu and I both glance at Cowrie in surprise, and she crosses her arms.
What?
You're usually on top of this stuff.
I've been busy. This team isn't the only thing I focus on.
Before Shu can say anything else, I intervene. That's okay, I might have a lead anyway.
Really?
She doesn't need to sound so surprised. Yeah, you know the SBA? They both nod. I know somebody who works for them. She's agreed to help us find a sponsor. Shu claps me on the back.
This is why I chose you to join our team. You make things happen.
Are you sure it's not because I was the only person available? Cowrie snorts, but Shu is unfazed.
That too.
Shu's about to speak again when Cowrie shushes him.
Be quiet. Class is about to start.
The professor waits for the room to quiet down before he begins the class. The professor dismisses the class and the three of us file out together. My muscles are already fatigued and my limbs tremble. I am going to be sore tomorrow. Shu groans.
My legs feel like they're on fire.
Would you like to know what the world's best workout is? do everything you normally do with about 6 pounds, with about 6 stone of chainmail covering your body. Seriously, that's all you really need, because it's reasonably well balanced, reasonably well distributed, so it actually goes over a decent chunk of your body. So you don't realise how much of extra work you're doing until you take it off and you're like, oh my god, I can move again! I grunted sympathy, too tired to respond. Kaori Power walks ahead of us.
Class wasn't that hard.
Shu and I stare at each other. I whisper to him, how is she doing that right now?
She's a cyborg, a human mecha hybrid.
Makes sense to me. Once we're outside, Shu waves goodbye.
Well, that was fun. I got some stuff to take care of, though. I'll catch you on the flip side, Kaori, Mr. Broseph.
Same. I'll talk to you guys later.
We all say goodbye. Okay. I feel like I should be consistent and go talk to Yuna again. Because you know what these games are like. Some of them could be a bit weird about, talking to too many people. And I've got to say, I don't trust Valerie at all. They hired, as I said, they hired too sexy a voice actress. She's almost certainly a villain. I dial Yuna's number and wait for her to answer.
Hello?
Hey Yuna, it's Richard. Wondering if you've got some time to hang out, maybe have another tennis match?
I'd love to, but I've got class in about half an hour. I was about to stop and grab a coffee. Would you like to join me?
Yeah, sounds great. I'll meet you at the cafe.
Okay, see you soon.
We hang up and I walk to the cafe. Yuna's already there by the time I arrive, and she sits at a table near the window. After ordering myself a coffee, I join her. She smiles in acknowledgement as I sit down. So, what class do you have next?
Just one of my PHPT degree requirement classes. It's not one of the more interesting ones, so I'm not too excited about going. Do you have any more classes today?
Nope, all done for the day.
That must be nice.
Her eyes sparkle as she sips her coffee.
So, how are you spending your free time between classes? Anything fun?
Varies. Go to the library to study, chill in the pilot's lounge. Generally, I like to spend my time with my gear.
Ah.
She glances at the teal stripes on my uniform as she takes a sip of her coffee.
What made you decide to be a pilot?
Well, my dad was an engineer. I grew up building mechs with him, and, well, he and I built Eagle together.
Eagle must be really special to you then.
Yeah.
So why didn't you go into engineering?
My dad always wanted to be a pilot, but was colorblind, could never become one. He always encouraged me to be a pilot instead. I never really considered doing anything else. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not doing it just because my dad wanted me to, but I love piloting. It's something I always knew I wanted to do. What about you?
I actually almost joined the pilot program.
Really? What changed your mind? She hesitates. The words are on her lips, but she's debating whether or not to say them.
There were a lot of factors, but the biggest reason I chose to study PHPT is because pilot health and safety is frequently overlooked. Pilots go through a rigorous training process, and people don't consider the long-term effects that training has on a person, especially when you're talking about G-force training and the like. Being a pilot can take more of a toll on your body than you know.
Well, you can check up on my health any day. I feel safer just knowing you're there to look out for me. She blushes.
I'll try my best.
So, pilot health and physiotherapy, does that encompass mental health as well as physical?
Yes, definitely. Most people tend to forget that a healthy mind is just as important as a healthy body, but an unhealthy mind can just be as destructive, if not more so, than an unhealthy body.
Ask more about mental health then. I'll admit I'm a bit guilty of forgetting that myself. Is there currently a large emphasis on mental health screenings for pilots, or is it an ever-evolving process?
It's an ever-evolving process, and unfortunately, it usually takes a tragedy before people realize there's a flaw in the system.
Usually the case, unfortunately. Really? She nods.
Obviously, a pilot has to pass a mental health evaluation before he can earn his license, but that screening needs to be more rigorous and more frequent.
What do you mean?
Some mental illnesses are easily diagnosed, but some are more tricky and some can disappear and reappear, like depression or addictions. Those are hard conditions to spot because for the most part, they must be self-reported. But if a pilot knows that he may lose his license because he has this condition, he may not report it. It could reach a level where he would not only endanger himself, but those around him.
Well, that's depressing. Shouldn't his colleagues or teammates report him if they notice the pilot's changed behavior?
They absolutely should. But the way the current system works, the responsibility falls on the pilot himself and not his peers.
I can sort of understand that, but...
Pilots who are on anxiety or depression medication can also be disqualified from earning their license just because of the medication use alone.
Isn't that kind of like punishing the pilot for treating his condition?
There are arguments for both sides. The pilot is being punished for treating his condition, and because he uses the medication, he should be considered to be in sound mind. On the other hand, someone who is using the medication has a greater potential for significant underlying psychiatric or psychologic problems, and the side effects of medication is always unpredictable, so they're considered a risk.
I guess both sides make sense. Which side are you on? Right, we're overrunning our time for this part, so I'm going to stop it there, and we'll get our answer at the beginning of the next. So, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.